So,
Weird.
well, it is a bit weird. So 2 years of shooting, effectively, it's now wrapped filming Snow White.
For the third
Disney's-
time.
So is this the new Last Jedi that it'll be filming forever?
I think so.
Well, seemingly is, though. This is the thing. So, I mean, there's not really a huge story outside of the fact that it has been shooting for so bloody long, and it's now officially wrapped production. So we got these photos from Rachel Zegler, and it just says, you know, blah blah blah, London, because they've shot it in the UK, obviously. And then she did this here. Says that's a wrap on Snow White. So but 2 years of filming, 2 years effectively of filming. Few months off with the strikes, but 2 years of filming. So, few things I guess that are interesting about this. One, I mean, this is going to be a disaster. Let's be honest. You don't film for 2 years and it's going to be great. That's never. I don't think it's ever happened. But then also the fact that they filmed it in the UK, so the UK means that it will be, something that we get the financials for it all, which will be fascinating because when they're revealed, my God, they are not going to be good, are they? So I don't have much else to say. This is a topic more from a conversational perspective and opinions, I guess, on it all. But what do you guys think?
I think this was such a shit show that when we look at these financials, when it comes from Company's House, I think we're going to be shocked. I think we're going to be shocked, especially when they get it through post. Do you know how much post is going to be involved?
Oh, a lot,
in this?
because well, you know why they don't you? Because they've got to add in all those dwarfs that they weren't going to have in the movie.
Yeah. It's gonna be bad, dude. I mean, and look, they had to film the movie 3 times. 3 times. Do you know what a reshoot schedule is? Where they have a few days usually added into your contract, so you'll come back and do pickups, right? So this was a whole freaking movie again. It's the 3rd time they've shot this whole thing.
It's almost like multiple movies at this stage. That's the point, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like what they're scrapbooking Snow White. They have a blueprint for it. It was an animated cartoon. Wasn't even 2 hours long. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, it's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Go on, Tom.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure they were never going to have dwarves in it, but I think they're just... Well, that's not totally true, because when they first came out and said they're not going to have little people play the dwarves, but they did say they were always going to have them be magical creatures or whatever. The thing was, I'm sitting here going, okay, so they're going to be CGI, which is what I said, 2 years ago, Culture?
Yeah, you did.
Because
I swear they said that they were going to replace the dwarfs with magical creatures instead.
Yeah, that was always the plan. That was always the plan. And that's what I said. Well, that makes sense because they have to make them look like their old Disney counterparts, because that's the part that makes them Disney Snow White. It has nothing to do with Snow White or anything else. It has to do with the fact that the dwarves actually have names like Dopey and Sneezy and Doc and Bashful and all that stuff. Those are the Disney versions of those characters, because in the book, they never had names. So those personalities and characters are what makes it Disney Snow White. So that I don't think was ever not going to be a part of the game, but this other business that was in it where people were seeing like the bandits and all this other stuff, that's where I think they're doing some reconfiguring somewhere. I don't know how much they did change. You could be right. But when they had the whole Peter Dinklage thing go down, they said they were always going to have them be magical creatures or whatever. So in that respect, that just told me they were going to have some sort of digital something or other.
Well, so I've got it now, because I've misremembered. I don't know if I've misremembered, but let's take a look. So Disney's responded to criticism made by Game of Thrones Peter Dinklage about its forthcoming live-action adaptation of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Dinklage said the remake of the 1937 animated film based on story from the Brothers Grimm was backward. Disney said it was going to avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film. So that means no dwarfs, surely.
That just means no little people playing the dwarves.
But the original animated film didn't have little people playing the dwarves.
No, but if you did that, that would be a stereotype. That's what they were saying.
Nah. Dinklage said Disney should have reassessed the project. Where is the whole thing? We are taking a different approach with these 7 characters and have been consulting with members of the dwarfism community. We look forward to sharing more as the film heads into production after a lengthy development period. Yeah, I still took from that they weren't going to use dwarfs. They weren't going to include dwarfs. A different approach with the 7 characters.
Yeah.
And that's why they gave us the 7 arse bandits.
Yes.
Sorry, politically
Okay,
correct
so
bandits.
here's where I got the magical creatures part.
And
yeah, it's in this write-up here. I'm trying to find the actual quote.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's at the end of the day, 2 years that this film's bloody been filming, and those dwarfs look like they were added in a hurry. That didn't look like they were always meant to be there, did it?
No, it looked like you went into what it was back then. What was the AI we were using? Looks like one of us went into an AI and said, "Hey, make me 7, dwarves around Snow White in a house, wide shot in Pixar animation style," and it burped out that garbage, and they slapped her face on it. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's what it like to most people, I think, to be fair.
Okay.
2 years in the works. This film will never make its budget back. This is done. Dead as a dodo.
So, let's do some math. This film is going to cost 4 times as much as it should have. Right? There you go. Falcon Cap and the bologna sausage of whatever is the same problem because it's on number 3, which means it's going to cost. We already know it costs over $500 million so far.
Well, just to roll that back real quick. Yeah. So in September of last year, before all the reshoots, Disney had made government filings in the UK, already for how much Snow White had cost up to date in September. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And where is it? And it was Disney had already spent $210 million on the film. That was in September.
I'm sorry.
Of last year.
Repeat that number.
$210 million already.
Okay, and then how many more times did they shoot after that?
Well, that was just the September filing. We don't know. I mean, they've only just finished shooting now. I mean, it's another however many bloody months, isn't it? That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So yes, it's just going to be huge. Budget's going to be astronomically high. Absolutely crazy stuff.
What really worries me is that if this manages to be halfway decent, does make some money, but obviously doesn't make its budget, is definitely a loser, that might help rehab the, weird chick's like career.
Yeah. Well, but her career's been rehabbed anyway by the Hunger Games film.
She had very little to do with that. So.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right.
It literally doesn't matter. They'll see that as her win.
But didn't she lose that Paddington gig after that movie came out?
Yeah, she did. Yeah. Well, no, it was before it came out. But yeah,
before it came out. Okay. I'm not sure. I think a lot of studios will steer clear of somebody with a silliness that they're willing to show everybody. What's that adage? Better to be thought a fool and not speak than to speak and eliminate all doubt.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. We got I mean, this film's dead anyway. This film's dead.
And
we got a super from Adam Henson about this, kind of. For £10, says, on the subject of Disney, me and my daughter watched Disney's Dinosaur for the first time and can't believe how good it is. Visually stunning and a great story about survival. Feels so underrated. Yeah.
It is. It's a terribly underrated film. I'm with you.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah, it's unfortunate. That Disney do make good stuff. They have made good stuff. 100% they have. So, and can they do it again? Maybe.
I think it's
Maybe.
only been on accident for the last decade, though.
I think you probably are right, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, Inside Out 2 is probably not. They didn't. Well,
they didn't make that on purpose.
I think that was a fluke, to be fair. But yeah, we shall see. Anyway, shall we shuffle on? Anything else to add, guys? Are we done with this? We eagerly awaiting its destruction.
I cannot wait for this to show up in a year and people be like, "Wow, the CGI is terrible."
Oh, it's going to be bad. Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty bad, to be honest. I would say. Oh, Olaf has been a member for 20 months. He drops in with his member chat and says, the power of one, the power of two, power of many reshoots. All these reshoots negate the earnings of Inside Out 2 and delayed for another year. Yeah, absolutely 100% exactly. You're not wrong there, buddy. All of these things. I mean, just the financing alone on this film, they're going to be taking interest on it now. So.
They've been taking interest on it. They've been taking interest on it already. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but like exponentially.